Hey, how's it going? Check in for September the 19th. I've spent a good bit of today working on the seminar, which is a week tomorrow now, so it's getting pretty close. Numbers are going well. I reckon we'll probably get, current numbers are about 43 people, I think, so I hope we'll get 50 people in the room. Maybe a couple won't turn up, which is normally what happens, so let's call it 50. I think if we can sell a few more tickets between now and then, that'd be really good. So that's all going well, and I'm kind of going back and writing the seminar plan in the same way that I used to write plans when I was doing my PT tutoring, when I was working on delivering PT modules. And kind of the way I was taught to do it was to write, you have a scheme of work and you have like a session plan. And the scheme of work is the broad outline of what the objectives are and so on. And then the session plans themselves are the individual sessions that you can deliver. So if I'm delivering a 2-day course, then you have the scheme of work, which is the overall, but then each of the sessions might be an hour or an hour and a half long, and you plan each of those sessions pretty much down to the minute. Like, so between the first 3 minutes, I'm going to introduce it. Then between minutes 3 and 5, I'm going to lay out the course objectives, and so on and so forth. And that's what I've been doing today with the seminar. And it's actually been really, I guess I started the process off yesterday. But it works really well for me. Probably not for a keynote, but for this type of thing, it works well because it just makes sure that if I'm delivering, I think there's 4 main parts. I've got like an introduction. We'll be talking about progress, not perfection, self-sabotage, procrastination, and then the motivation myth, which I'm always excited about talking about that, and actually how to create inner motivation rather than relying on some external force pushing you to take action. So each of these are about 20 to 25 minutes long each, which means that I need to make sure that I'm quite tight on my timings. The only way I know to do that is to plan things literally to the minute. And inevitably some things will take a little longer and some things won't take quite as long as I've planned and given them for. But that is what gets me on track when I'm delivering a program like this, a seminar. I can't remember now actually, but I'm pretty sure I did something similar when I was delivering my workshops, which I haven't done at all this year, my 3.5-hour training workshops for what I call the core 5 principles of well-being, which are elements of well-being rather, which is nutrition, activity, mindset, recovery, and connection. There we go. Still got them, and this was what I base all my programs, my coaching programs on as well. So planning things to the minute details, and then going in. Well, actually, let's go back up a little bit. So to begin with, I'd say, right, I'm going to do 2 minutes on this, and 3 minutes on this, and then 5 minutes on that. Then an exercise that'll take 2 minutes. And now what I've been doing today is going back and actually planning out the detail of that. So if I'm giving 3 minutes to something, it's like, well, what points do I want to make within that time? And that's what I've been going through today. So I've had that kind of broad outline of the minute-by-minute plan, which I've been developing as I've been going along. And today I've been spending time actually putting in the detail as to what I'll be teaching and how I'll be teaching it. And then the only thing left to do is obviously to go ahead, practice a couple of bits, make sure they still work. I don't think there's anything new that I'll be teaching on Thursday next week. It's all stuff I've done before in my programs, just changed around a little bit, upgraded and beefed up a little bit, added some stories added to it as well to give a greater impact. And there'll be plenty of unknowns on the day itself, I'm sure. But this is hopefully going to be a seminar that I can deliver multiple times. The plan is with this, and one of the reasons I'm putting so much into it is obviously because people are paid to come along, and I want to make sure I do a really good job. But also, I want to be able to replicate this. So the better I have it planned, the more I can then go back afterwards and say, well, what did actually happen compared with what I'd planned on happening? And what could I improve, so I can do a bit of a self-evaluation afterwards, and hopefully come up with some tweaks that I can put into practice for the next time I do it. And whether that's just myself promoting it again, I'd love to do this again, so another location, maybe even getting over to Ireland for November time sometime. But also it's probably a course or a workshop I could do in-house as well for other companies. So there's we'll see how that goes. Anyway, progress has been made. I have done a few other bits and bobs with outreach as well. I'm still kind of holding back a little bit from picking up the phone I think that's the next thing to do, is like pick up the phone and knowing who to talk to. Like, that's my block. It's not that I can't pick up the phone and speak to people. It's that like I need to know who to phone in the first place, who to ask for. I'm just completely clueless when it comes to that. So the next thing actually is to find out and ask some people. I'm going to the PSA meeting tomorrow, so that's one of the questions I shall ask some people, is who do you contact when you're approaching an organisation or a potential conference organiser? Who do you actually ask to speak to? So there we go. Progress has been made, feeling good, feeling optimistic about the next few weeks and the way things are moving. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another check-in, probably before and maybe after as well, the PSA meeting, which is normally a bit of a late finish, but we'll see. Anyway, catch you soon. Bye for now.